Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 143 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. 143 is the sum of 7 consecutive primes: 11 plus 13 plus 17 plus 19 plus 23 plus 29 plus 31. We've been away for a while, but we're back now. I'm Jeff Plum, and with me, as always, is Super Coach Alois Rosario. Welcome, Alois.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Yes, we had a bit of downtime, haven't we? But we're back.
We certainly are, yes, and it's good to be back. We've got an interesting show with a bit of a competition. We're going to talk about where you've been, Alois, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, certainly are. Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, first up, Alois, why don't we talk about some PingSkillers at the Spanish Open?
Yeah, so I was just at the Spanish Para Open in Barcelona, and it was really interesting to meet some PingSkillers there. So there was Mike from the US, Wheelie, and it was exciting to meet him because he was excited to meet me too. So it was good to hear, how PingSkills is spread around the world. And then another guy, one of his friends as well, Naveen, who had a bit of a tough time. Had some five heart operations and has Parkinson's disease, and still playing table tennis and loving it and getting into para table tennis now. So yeah, wonderful to meet those guys from the US. And then also a family from Turkey. So a father with his 2 young daughters, both classified in class 11, and they're really young, 12 or something like that, twin sisters. So it was great to meet all those PingSkillers and have a chat to a lot of coaches and players from around the world.
Excellent. Yeah, certainly sounds interesting, and a lot of really good stories, I guess, Alois, inspirational stories of people, suffering, like you said, 5 bypass surgeries. Is that right? And then still playing and still loving table tennis. So that's a great story.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Parkinson's as well, being able to still compete. And as he said, like now he has the chance to play for the US, whereas he probably would never have had that chance previously. So he was just loving the whole tournament, meeting the people, and it's a really great atmosphere at the Para Open events. For those of you that have never had a chance to get down and see one, if there's one in your country, get down and have a look at them. You'll be absolutely amazed at the level of table tennis to start with, but also just some of the stories around the players. And there was a couple of rallies there that one I saw and one I missed, and everyone that saw it reckoned that it's just a ridiculously good rally. A guy Perez from Spain and the US. And I heard Toll even mention, he said, that's the best point I've ever played. Toll lost the point. But hopefully we'll find it on YouTube shortly, because I did check, there was one camera filming it. So we've got to get that and have a look at that as well.
Absolutely. That sounds brilliant. And you were there with the Australian team, Alois, and they did quite well.
Yeah, the Aussies did well. A couple of gold medals in the class 10 women's singles, Melissa Tapper, and the class 11 men's singles, Sam von Einem, Levon. So so they both won their class singles events, and then also a couple of silver medals in the teams events. So Melissa teamed up with a new class 10 player from Chile, and they took the silver medal against the Russians. And in the men's class 11 teams, Sam von Einem and Rory Carroll got a silver medal as well. So actually in the first match of their tournament, they lost narrowly to France, 3-2. So good result for them.
Yep, indeed. Well, welcome back, Alois, back to Australia and back to the PingSkills Ask the Coach show. Good to have you back. And it's been a while, but we did have a previous PingSkillers question of the day, which was, what is your favourite style of player to play against?
Yeah, well, for me, it's definitely someone that attacks, or not attacks, but someone that plays controlled, that allows me to get in there and attack. And I think that's probably my favourite type of player, because it allows me to take up the attack and to use my top spin and do that well. So that's probably my favourite type of player to play against. Custod has said that he likes playing against hitting attackers most, as I do not need to generate them more speed. So yeah, so he just utilises their speed. And Dieter said he likes the away from the table defenders or fun ball players, because it gives him time to attack and never miss a smash. So, and Dieter also added, just as an add-on, the least favourite are the close to the table blockers, and even worse, people with pips. I can handle pips defenders because they give me time to think, but if my spin and speed are redirected at me, I'm lost. So yeah, so there's a few people's feedback. And Naranjan, I also see his. Naranjan said, like playing against the attackers and choppers. So yeah, so a little bit of feedback there from our.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw a few people there didn't like to play against choppers. I think, looking at it, choppers were probably the least favourite of people to play against.
Yeah, it's interesting. I suppose, choppers, and then, also the pimple players. Why? Because we just don't get much of a chance to play against them, and it takes a while to adjust to the different players. So the two players at the Spanish Open, as well, the Australian players, and the two players that they struggled with one was Melissa struggled with a defender from Russia. Again, because it just took her a little bit of time to adjust to the different type of game, to the chopping game. She practices against attackers all the time, against blockers all the time, but we just don't get much of a chance to play against the defenders. And Sam, similar sort of thing. The one match that he lost for the week was against a close to the table long pimple player that just stood up to the table and blocked everything. So again, something different, doesn't give you the opportunity to adjust and to play your normal game.
Yeah, and is there a lot you can do about that except for playing more against those styles of player?
The most important thing is to just get experience playing against them. But also, I mean, the more you watch them playing, it also sinks in there into your brain somewhere as well. So, watching them and then getting an opportunity to play against them as well. And really important when you get that opportunity to play, that you don't get too angry or aggro with yourself if you're making mistakes. Just use it as a real learning experience and a time that you can adjust and to learn things. If you utilize it that way, then you'll improve quicker.
Yeah, great advice. All right. Well, the PingSkills question of the day, we're turning into a bit of a competition. Alois, do you want to tell us about this new competition?
Yes, so we've got the Japan Open World Tour event on at the moment. So a little bit about the Japan Open first. It is the 300th World Tour event, which is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, the World Tour, as we talked about in a previous show, is really starting to kick off. And the fact that they've now reached 300 World Tour events is just sensational. And so we've got some great players playing. So we thought we'll run a competition. We won't play a competition. We'll run a competition to pick the winners of both the men's and the women's singles. So what you've got to do, you've got to do both things. Pick the winner of the men's singles and the women's singles. And you've got to nominate the margin that they are going to win the final. So whether it's 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, or 4-3. Okay, so they're the options you've got. You've got to pick the men's singles winner and the women's singles winner. So not just one of them, you've got to pick them both, and you've got to pick the game margin that they are going to win by. So that is the competition.
Excellent. And what do they win, Alois?
Oh, I don't know, Jeff. Well, what do we give them? Well, should we give them a PingSkills premium membership? I think so.
We should, yes. Excellent idea.
So I think the last tournament competition we had, we were going to give them a quarterly membership, Jeffrey.
Yep.
Yep. So I reckon we're going to, because we said we'd roll that one over, we're going to award 2 prizes, so 2 quarterly memberships.
Excellent. All right. So get in and leave a comment. Where's the best place to leave a response, Alois?
So you can do it on the blog for this show. And should we let them do it on Facebook? Yeah, let's just do it on the blog, hey? Let's just do it on the blog.
Yeah, then we can keep a track of it and see where it is. So go to pingskills.com, click on the blog link, find episode 143. Leave a comment there on who you think's going to win to enter the competition. And when's the close off by, Alice? Surely they can't wait till after the final's been played.
No. So we're going to take entries all the way up to before the finals of the women's singles. So before the final of the women's singles, we're going to take entries. But if it's a tie between, or if 2 players have the same entry, so Ma Long 4-3 and Ding Ning 4-3, and if that's the winning score, then the first person to enter will be the winner. So get your entries in earlier rather than later. Okay,
all right. But then two people are going to win. So yeah, get involved. Look at the Japan Open. Check out the players. It's an exciting tournament. As Alois said, the Japan Open, the 300th World Tour event. It's just getting bigger and bigger. So check it out. Watch some of the matches on ITTV and leave a comment to enter the competition for your chance to win a quarterly membership. Look forward to you getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just having a look at some of the players that have entered, and the Chinese are there in full force at the Japan Open, which is great to see. So Ma Long, number 1 seed, Zhu Xin, number 2 seed in the men's singles. Also there we've got Mizutani, so he will match up against Ma Long if they both make the semi-finals. We've got Fan Zhendong and Fang Bo, and they are in the same quarter. So they will face up to each other in the quarter-final. What a good showdown between the 2 young guns from China. We've also got Chuang Chi Yuan there. Players like Apollonio from Portugal. Ho Kwan Kit from Hong Kong, who we saw. Let me have another look. So Jusei Hyuk up against Kenji Matsudira in the first round. So the Japanese in full force, the Chinese in full force. Going to be a great tournament in the men's. Women's singles, Ding Ning, number 1 seed. Liu Shiwen, number 2 seed. And second round possible matchup, Ding Ning versus Mima Ito. So, whoa. But, having a look at that. Sorry, Mima Ito up against Liu Fei from China. First round. So, boy, it is a hot, hot field. So, Ding Ning, Liu Shiwen, Zhu Yuling from China, Feng Tianwei from Singapore. Wow, huge. This is big. Get on it.
Yeah, it certainly is. My tip, Fan Zhendong for the men's and Ding Ning for the women's.
Whoa, I like it. I like it. I'm not going to give my tips because you always win when we give tips, and I don't like it, Jeff.
Fair enough. All right. Well, yeah.
And don't forget to watch it all on ITTV as well.
Absolutely. Yep. Great way to watch all the table tennis and, learn from the masters. All right, let's move on to some questions, Alois. And as always, you can ask questions by going to our Google Plus page and clicking the Q&A button there. And Brock has done exactly that. And he said, hey, PingSkills, I've missed you guys. He says, I met my rival today and he won. But the problem is that he's been training table tennis for 25 years and he's a scary, powerful blocker with great aim. And every time he does his strokes, he does loops on my backhand and my forehand. I try short, heavy backspin, but he blocked it. Help me. Sounds like Brock's a bit lost here, Alois.
Rocky, you sound like you're up against another. Where do you find all these good players to play against? It's great. So good blocker, what do we need to do? We need to think about variation. Against all good blockers, we have to vary the spin. You aren't going to beat them by speed. That's what they enjoy. You've got to slow it up, speed it up. slow it down, speed it up, one of those things. And don't allow them to get a nice rhythm with their blocking. Variation is the key. Come on, Brocky, you can beat this guy. 25 years, it's got nothing on you.
Absolutely. All right. And Gargavus has just mentioned that he's huge fans of PingSkills and he's watching again, and he's got his translator there. So thanks for watching, Gargavus. But the next question is from Ismail, who says, "How do you play as an effective attacker, and what strategies should I use?"
Yeah. So if you are an attacker, and a lot of us are attackers, it's important, firstly, that you take all the opportunities that you get to make the attack. So that involves making sure you're recognizing when the ball is short and when the ball's long. If you recognize that, then you're a big way there, because if your opponent's giving you longer balls that you aren't attacking on, then often you will allow your opponent to attack first. So as an attacker, it's really important to take up the first attack when you get that opportunity. So recognizing the long ball. But the other really important thing, I think, with being an attacker is having a good short game so that you stop your opponent from attacking. If you are pushing and the ball's going long and your opponent gets the opportunity to attack first all the time, then you become a blocker. You don't become an attacker anymore. So having a good short serve and having a good short push or short return is crucial for a good attacker to be able to get that first attack in. So for me, they're really crucial aspects.
Yeah, certainly are. And that leads us into a good introduction to the PingSkills Premium membership, Alois, which has a whole section on match strategy and how to play as an attacker, how to play against defenders, lots of different strategies that you can use against different players. So that's a great way to improve your game. And not only that, the premium membership comes with serving secrets course, where we teach all the different types of serves, receiving secrets course. There's a 52-week training plan to help you improve. A lot of players love that. And weekly emails to keep you on track with that training plan as well. So if you're interested in improving, take a look at the premium membership at pingskills.com. All right, thanks for the question, Ismail. All right, Alice, next one is from Kamar, who says, "I want to be a professional table tennis player. I just started playing after a long time. Can you suggest me some initial things about the practice and key points to work on?"
Yeah, Kamar. So the first thing is to get a bulk of practice in. So you need to firstly work out how you're going to train and when you're going to train. So that means sitting down and working out your training days and where you're going to train, who you're going to train with. So it's really important to get hours on the table. If you're looking to become a professional, whenever, now, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, you have to, first up, get that bulk of training happening. What type of training? Depends on your level. So let's think about, firstly, making sure that you develop the basic techniques and strokes: backhands, forehands, top spin, blocking, pushing, serving. If you can do those things well, then it's also about your movement, your footwork, the list goes on and on, right, with actual skills. But the most important thing is that you've got to allow the time to do that. How long does it take to become a professional table tennis player? We talk about the 10,000 hours principle. Yes, 10,000 hours is important, so it's about just getting out there, training smart, training hard, training well, and consistently over a long period of time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in a week. It's definitely not going to even happen in 1 year. So you've got to be here for the long haul if you're looking to be a professional table tennis player.
Absolutely. But there are ways you can try and learn in a smarter way. And I guess that's what you try and teach Alois through the whole strokes and techniques section, by focusing on start positions and finish positions, just trying to give cues that will help someone learn the strokes more quickly, and also learn them in a way that they can develop them as they improve.
Absolutely, yes. So, I mean, learning those techniques and learning them well is what we try to really focus on. And it's important that you do that well. So get those strokes perfect. So consistent and to a level where you're completely confident to be able to play them, and you don't have to think about them. So yeah, we give you some nice simple tips that are going to help you with that, and hopefully that will fast track your development as well.
Indeed. Good question, Kamar. All right, now Chi Keep Ong has jumped on and asked the question with the Google Q&A app. Alois, he said, last time I told you guys on your channel's comments that my coach wants me to use a pimple bat, but he changed his mind and he let me have an anti-spin bat. But I wanted to ask you guys, what is the difference between an anti-spin bat and a pimple bat?
Okay, so anti-spin and long pimples react very similarly. They're basically the same type of racket. With the long pimple, you can generate a little bit more spin yourself. With the anti-spin, you can't really generate any spin yourself. So that's the only real difference. But the effect of the long pimple and the anti-spin are basically exactly the same. So yeah, so if that's where your coach wants you to head, then you can start to work on that technique of utilizing the long pimples or sorry, the anti-spin now.
Yeah, indeed. And we do have a video on the effects of rubbers, which shows us hitting the ball with different rubbers and the ball hitting the rubbers. And you can see the different effects it has for the different types of rubber. So for long pimples, anti-spin, normal inverted rubber. So I'll put a link in the show notes to that video. So yeah, Chi, have a look at that, and hopefully it explains to you in a bit more detail the effects of the different types of rubbers. All right, Alois, now I noticed you didn't do this day in history because you obviously realised that the numbers is better. And
no, I just forgot. Jeffrey, I just forgot.
No, he knows it's better. And for those people that didn't know, it was Alois's birthday recently. And because he's been in Spain, I haven't been able to give him his present yet, which is the Penguin Dictionary of Curious and Interesting Numbers, which I know he would just love and just read and read. So that's coming your way, Alois. Get excited. You'll have hours of fun reading that book.
Can't wait. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome. All righty. Well, that wraps up the show. For your chance to win a quarterly membership, go to pingskills.com, click on the blog link, find show 143, and tell us who's going to win the Japan Open and the game margin. Look forward to hearing from you. It's good to be back. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and thank you, Alois.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And yes, it is good to be back. And back in Australia, loved Spain. Beautiful. Oh, went and saw Camp Nou, home of Barcelona FC. Did the tour. There's a lot of jealous people around that would love to have been there, including my son. And
he just loves Barcelona. I mean, yes. Did you get some good photos for him at least?
I did get some good photos, and I think that made it worse for him. You know, photos of me walking down the tunnel where the players go, and it's great. If any of you are ever in Barcelona and haven't done it, go and have a look at Camp Nou and do the tour. Well worth it.
Excellent. Yeah, great. Oh, well, lucky you got to visit such a beautiful country in Spain. Great. Yeah. All righty. Thanks, everyone. See you shortly. See you tomorrow.